What's up, Twitch? How you guys doing tonight? Brought in by Lost and by no copyright sounds. Today we'll go ahead and begin chatting with our lovely players as, well, some of them are lovely.
More.
And then there's Roselynn. So Roselynn.
Yes?
What happened last episode? Why don't you recap the whole thing for us? Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Last episode, a lot of stuff happened last episode. We ended up in a place called, I believe it is called the Dark Wilds. Am I correct?
Deep.
Nope, deep.
No, deep. Deep. I don't know why I wrote dark for some reason. We ended up in the Deep Wilds, which is not friendly towards people like Roselynn and I guess I would say, non-elven race. Non-Fey race. We don't know that, though. Anyways, we wandered a little bit, and some groups, some part of our groups, like Breanne, Thomas, and Antlyn, disappeared. We didn't know. We don't know why. We patted the ground where they disappeared. We looked around, and we just didn't know. But as we were going further into the forest, we came across a halfling camp, followed by a halfling named me, M-E-E. And we asked them where our people went, and of course the halflings didn't know, but their boss knew. Well, who their boss? It can't be other than the father of forests, Othar, which we met, and we sat down and we had a talk. Othar called Roselynn a lich with a B. Roselynn did not like that at all, but definitely got told. Definitely got shut up about it. And he tells us that the other 3 people in our party were being tested to see if they can work together. And this test was where they had to go down certain paths together. That is, they all had to agree on the same thing, no matter what, while being followed by some monstrosity of a thing that, if they didn't agree together, or if they went on separate paths, would have killed them. So, Antlyn, Breanne, and Thomas, they followed, they passed the test, they came back, and Othar and one other goddess, although people call her father of culture when it's actually a female, named Luris, I believe, came along, and we had a lot of explaining. They did a lot of explaining of why we were picked to be together, and what our main goal really is, which I didn't quite write that down, sadly.
You've missed the main goal.
I missed the main goal. It was something.
So the main point of all this, Roselynn has no clue what it is.
It's Roselynn. What do you expect?
Thomas, watch out. She thinks she's going to boot you through another door.
That's the main goal. There. I gotta put Thomas through main door. I was gonna write that down, but I didn't read back. I didn't watch
Val,
the...
would you like to step in?
Please.
Did you say foul?
What are you,
Mad.
mad? What are you, mad?
Okay. I just got confused because I'm not... Anyway. Our goal right now is to travel east, past Lake Helm, or... mentioned that I apparently didn't write down. Past the Shaded Mountain. This is horrible. I'm sorry, Firefly. To the Shaded Monastery, up the path to a cave with a shrine, at which point our journey will be judged depending on how we handle ourselves up to then. What? I can't read my writing either. We'll be given a boon to save our families and sent or given directions to what is the place where Breanne found?
Eckhart's Hollow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thank you, Firefly. You're welcome.
At which point, we should find weapons such that we can use to defeat the Black.
Yes. Correct. Okay. There you go.
It's not poison ivy.
Okay. Try, I guess, to avoid it. Yes, sure. Twist. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Epi.
The stuff for the adder. It has to be snakes.
So Thomas, tell us what just happened to you, since apparently my narration just didn't get heard. Thank you, Epi.
Thank you, Epi.
Thank you,
Why
Epi.
don't you tell him how he?
Thank you, Epi.
How his item came into play.
Thomas was behind a tree, and he was using the bathroom, and a snake appeared and jumped for his face. Thomas, being the idiot he is, tried to grab the snake, and it turned back into a staff, and he got a staff of the adder thanks to a donation from Epi. Thank you, Epi.
All right. So, as last I believe we were at, Elliot turns around to see this massive bear claw, or not Elliot.
Antlyn
comes around. Sorry, a lot of names. About to strike him. I need a dexterity saving throw from you.
Okay.
He just, as the claw comes down, you roll back. I assume you draw your weapon while doing so.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys realize that you are surrounded by a number of forest creatures, and there is definitely something going on here more than it seems.
So we're surrounded by forest creatures?
It doesn't chase us, right? It's just
You're
like...
surrounded currently. It's not really chasing you.
Okay, at that point
You were an outlier. You were one of the farthest people out.
Antlyn explained this.
At that point, I would sheath my weapon.
Antlyn, you know the wilds. Explain this.
Creatures do not act this way. for some odd reason, unless it was the father of the forest doing.
Are we still back there? She looks to Maad.
Look at the gem.
Nope. It's not it's dark as can be, regular granite color.
No. We're nowhere near right now.
Okay. How many bears are around us?
12, 13, somewhere in that range.
Black bears?
Couple big, yeah, cave bears. Couple big snakes.
Yeah,
Everybody into the center, back to each other.
yeah, Roselynn will have her,
Okay.
long sword out. Defensively.
A couple leaves begin to fall in different areas as you see, I'll give a perception check actually. Dense fog and everything. They do look like regular birds.
You said everybody give a perception?
Yes, please, and all rolls should be whispered. Thomas.
Oh, just a point for the perception. You might have to unclick and reclick your skill, because on some of them it's messed up. The
I
passive.
still see everyone looking
Okay.
decent, at least the modifiers.
Okay, cool.
Roselynn, Thomas, and Breanne, you notice some movement by cloaked individuals up in the branches. You gotta hear this very soft, kind of almost nature-ish sound that comes through as they seem to be communicating with one another.
Show yourself.
Okay, make me a strength check.
Huh? What?
Strength save. Oops.
Check, please.
Yeah.
You hear this fine, almost whistling sound as an arrow hits just above your hand, knocking your long sword to the ground.
Takes out her hand axes.
As you reach, another one's planted between your feet.
Chill. Did not take them and just look to see where the arrow's being shot at.
Yeah, from inside these, basically, you have these very heavy fog and leaves. I mean, you saw the movement, as did Thomas and Breanne, of them moving back, cloaked individuals. That is basically, you can assume the person that has done this to you.
Hello? Are these sure bears and snakes?
Thomas gets out his bow.
Not receiving a response, she looks to the people that saw things, like Roselynn. She's like, what was it?
Who are you?
Something in the trees. There's something in the...
Thank you.
Thomas, you were trying to say?
I'm sorry?
You were trying to say?
I was saying there's somebody in the trees.
Oh, Illiyanna will look up?
Maad will look up.
You don't see anything. They caught them as they were moving.
Did I see where they moved to?
They're basically in all these leaves. You can't. You would have to roll another perception to see if you can spot them.
Okay, we'll do that.
I mean, you knew where they generally are.
Right.
But
We mean you no harm.
you really can't spot them in there.
Okay.
You know they're in there, but you don't know where. It's a decent cluster. Antlyn, it's foggy.
Jeez, it's foggy. What are you calling out to, Maad?
I'm gonna step behind Illiyanna and stealth.
Okay.
They said that there were people, like people in the trees. Did we see one of them
There's
shoot
kind of a rumbling.
an arrow?
You saw the arrow come from where they've been pointed out to be, but you didn't actually see them physically shoot the arrow.
Yeah, Illiyanna will point to the arrow. That came from somewhere, right?
There's a small kind of shaking feeling in the ground. Not earthquake-ish, like a larger kind of I see arrow. Beast coming towards you.
Would I know what it is? Like, or can I
No,
just...
it's not a giant. Nothing. Based on what's around you, I think it's a pretty big bear.
Everybody
Where's my
put your
shield?
weapons on the ground. Maad starts doing that.
If you want to look in that direction, you can get a perception, Antlyn. It's actually towards
Illiyanna
you.
follows Maad's lead.
They shot. Okay.
You can see the basic outline of the thing. It's much bigger than the game bear.
Yeah, she'll put her hand axes onto the ground too, since her longsword is already on the ground.
As it gets closer, Antlyn, do you point it out to anyone else? They're kind of looking still at the tree.
Yeah, Alan will point it out, but he's not going to remove his weapons.
It's getting bigger and bigger, Antlyn. As it gets closer, it's a really large bear. You come up, you see this, gray furred bear, one eye just like milky white, this massive scar over it. There's a couple arrows in this thing's hide. Looks like there's a broken off blade stuck in it as it just slowly, the one eye just bouncing between all of you. That you can tell. And just moving slowly towards you.
He's hurt.
That thing is hurt.
Yeah, look at him.
He just looks battle worn.
Do the wounds look fresh?
No.
Okay. Thomas will point that out.
Oh,
How long would those arrows have been in him?
From this distance, without a roll, you're not sure.
You want to go and ask?
Antlyn, can you see?
Can I see?
You're
You
closest.
can roll me an investigation, Antlyn.
Oh, jeez. You guys are making him do this? Actually, it's not that bad.
Antlyn, you're like since I've seen him, Illiyanna, they look old.
they are old. Oh.
As he gets closer, the two bears that were like right by you, Antlyn, almost part. As it just lumbers. Mind you, it being on all fours, where its head kind of hangs, is almost to about like your upper chest, like collarbone area. So this bear is on all fours, about 12 feet tall.
Before it comes, Antlyn will just say, do you guys remember what the Father of the Forest told us? He's also a favor of the hunt. So putting your weapons down might show a form of weakness.
People shot at us when Roselynn had her weapon out. I would think that they would want us to take them down.
When Roselynn threatened them. To be
Yeah.
fair.
Put him down, pick him up. Put him down, pick him up. Jeez, people, make up your mind.
It gets right up towards Antlyn. The teeth, he's massive caked on, just sniffs. Kind of the deep breath, just pushing, quite a good, as it takes one big exhale. It's got a good force behind it, Antlyn. And then it just kind of slowly begins to circle, looking at each one of you. Thomas, you realize even with one eye it sees you.
Damn it.
Not the greatest stealth today, but
Not the best death roll, no.
no. It makes one full pass around all of you, and then rears back up, showing its full, the aggressive stance. Its full height being somewhere between like 23 and 25 feet tall. It lets out this long, roar. I need each of you to make me a wisdom save.
Okay.
It's a big old bear.
Oh. Aha! I got you, mosquito.
So, Thomas, you're just like, that's a big bear.
That's a big bar.
Maad, you're more intrigued with everything in the Fey or the deep woods, and then seeing a creature of this kind of magnitude. Your fear that should be running through your body isn't there right now. You're more intrigued. Breanne, you instinctively, hop back. Roselynn drops to her knees, a little bit afraid. Antlyn, you also do a step back, almost going for your scimitar, and Illiyanna, you're at the same, taking a step back away from it.
I would step between it and my friend.
Hasn't made any actual aggressive actions, just in that posture.
That's just step sideways rather than anything.
You watch as the form starts to shrink and almost become more humanoid. He's a very old man. Again, missing the one eye. Long gray hair. The arrows in almost the same exact positions. Stands before you in kind of greenish robes and dark browns. He waves his hand, and the bears start to leave back towards the forest.
Thomas looks at Roselynn. Witchcraft! Get him!
No.
No. I'm good.
Hello.
Still just looking at all of you.
I thought you said witchcraft was bad and all that good stuff.
That is witchcraft, but I'd rather not,
She's afraid. And smell her fear.
I am not afraid.
Are you still on your knees?
He lets
water
out,
running.
he takes a deep breath in, looking directly at Roselynn. I need a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Oh my gosh.
As he lets out this almost, grisly roar. Yeah, you go from your knees back on your butt, scooting back a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid. Okay, I admit that was a
the
little
liquid
scary.
running down your legs, so we'll attest to that.
Looks back,
Shut up, Thomas.
looks back to Maad as the one who stepped in front and not afraid. How did you get here?
We transported here to the deep
He
wilds.
chuckles, eyebrows peeking at the words of the deep wilds, looking at you. He's got nothing more than just a staff, a walking stick, and kind of tilts and looks at your gear because what is Maad wearing? What is his clothing like? Hey, wowsies. What is his clothing like? What is he? Does he wear robes or?
Leather armor with a gashed down part of it, and just regular clothes other than that.
Mm-hmm. Looks around, kind of poking you a little bit with the staff. Not, it's a blood staff. Poking you a little bit, and looks. And again, just you get there's almost the bestial his senses still are in tune with that whatever creature he had transformed from. And, there's still yet you're not strong enough. But you smell of it.